The Attorney General, Bridget Anisette, now she said that the Prime Minister said that her reasons for removing herself was because she had an interest or has an interest in HCL and she felt that it would be conflicting. If that is so, what would her options have been on? Could she not just have said or done what Bazia Pandey said, which is just to remove herself from presiding over? She
could, but let's first look at what is the role of an Attorney General.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people have to understand that a cabinet really only requires two people to comprise it, the Prime Minister and the Attorney General. A cabinet cannot function without those two people.
You can't function without an Attorney General?
Exactly.
Why not?
Because the Attorney General is almost the legal entity of the government. All legal proceedings brought against the government are done in the name of the Attorney General. All proceedings for the government are done by the Attorney General. So the Attorney General is a very, very important person. Although a political person, wears a hat of great responsibility. And the position of the Attorney General is covered in the Constitution, Section 76, which outlines the power. So that anything of a legal nature, the Attorney General not only is a prosecutor or defender in civil matters, but must give cabinet, must give the government advice. Anything happening, the advice comes from the Attorney General and the office of the Attorney General. So that literally almost everything that takes place within a government has legal implications, and one must rely on the Attorney General and the Attorney General's advice that is given and the conduct of it. And I'll simplify it. A guy walking down the street is beaten by the police, taken advantage of. His recourse to sue the state, he sues the Attorney General. That is the legal entity. Any action you want to sue the Minister of Health, you sue the Attorney General. That is a body that everything in terms of legal action goes. So it's not just a person who is like a Minister of Trade or Tourism who's just dealing with simple issues. Everything, the heart of legal matters go to the Attorney General. That's why it's so important. Now, what is very interesting about this, and why I think there's an outcry or there's concern, you have an Attorney General resigning in a time where the mood of resignations is so apparent and not being given a proper explanation other than there is an apparent conflict of interest. Now, what about the conflict of interest that the more than perceived of Karen Nunes to Shera? Is it of a similar nature? Is it beyond that? What is the seriousness of it? Has she compromised herself as yet? What is her responsibility insofar as a CLICO investigation is concerned that causes this conflict of interest? Or is it really a red herring that is thrown out there to cover something else? And you see, when you get half of the information, it creates suspicion and doubt in people's minds.
That's what Sean and I was saying.
When you see, the problem is, as I always say, when you hold high office, it's not just a simple position. With it comes great responsibility. You resign from a post that is so important. This is not a simple post. This is not like a ministerial post that you just rotate people. This is somebody saying, I have a serious conflict of interest. But we haven't heard it from her properly. What is the nature of that conflict of interest? And was it so serious, as you rightly say, that she could not say, listen, one of my senior legal officers will deal with it. The Attorney General is not necessary to deal with that subject.
Because she could have.
She could have.
One of her.
But it all depends on the circumstances of the involvement. Now, that brings me to a very important issue. Now, she's resigning, and I commend Patrick Manning for saying that he recognizes that people in public office who are of integrity recognizing problems, commend them for resigning.
You commend him for saying that?
That he has recognized it. He doesn't practice it. The point I'm making...
Well, then he's duplicitous. Then why would you say it? Well, then don't say it.
No, the point I'm being sarcastic in my praise to him. Sorry. But what I'm saying is... he condones behavior that ought to be result in resignations. Yet he conveniently praises Bridget Anisette George to say, you're such a wonderful person, a woman of integrity.
You have risen in my estimation.
Exactly, and that's why I'm being sarcastic about it.